Hi everyone, I hope you haven't forgotten about this channel, and I, in turn, will try not to disappear anymore. Let's start a new video series on Mobile Legends. And the first video will be a guide to the wish list for beginners in 2025. Many people are wondering which faction is better to develop first. On my new accounts, I prefer to start with Techno. By the way, I'll be launching the beginners account section soon, so subscribe so you don't miss the new episodes. Let's start with the Techno faction and why I recommend it for beginners. There is Mia, who is a top single target damage dealer and one of the best guild bosses damage dealers. If you pick one of the early characters, the campaign will be very easy. The next character to help you through the campaign is Eris. She is an excellent damage dealer for the entire enemy team, not only in the early stages, but also in the late game. However, these two characters have a disadvantage: they are very fragile, so it's best to cover them with supports. As for support, the next character is Angela, who is still the most suitable choice for any team in PvE content. It is relevant in PvP and in battles with guild bosses. It's best to improve it as soon as possible to A3 and start working on the next character. Edith is the next character, one of the best tanks in the regular faction. She has a lot of control over the battlefield and a good survival rate. Unlike other tanks, she's actively used throughout the game, not just in the early stages, and we introduce Layla as the fifth member of this group. I would recommend choosing the Martial faction as the next one with useful characters for beginners. This faction has a great starting character, Luna Amara, who can easily complete the campaign content. Additionally, there is Clara, who gives your team one-time immortality at any level, greatly boosting the team's chances of survival. Nana also remains an excellent choice as a support character in your team, providing healing, resurrection, and armor reduction skills. Ruby is another great choice as a tank, with her high survival rate making her relevant for long campaigns and faction towers. If you need a fifth character, you can choose from Panda, Iridal, Wan, or Hanabi, depending on their abilities and how they fit into your current team composition. Next, we will analyze the characters of the Elements faction. I've always really liked this character, but now he lacks powerful abilities for high-level campaigns. The first choice is Rafaela, who is one of the best support characters in the game. She has high healing rates and attack improvements at level 30 with her personal artifact. She is useful in both PvE and PvP content and is very strong. We should choose her as soon as possible to improve her abilities. Next, there is Eudora, who is a good average character who will be helpful in the faction tower. Since it's a hybrid hero, the two faction towers will be easier to complete. My next choice is Aurora. Some people might think Valor is better, but I don't agree. At high levels of the campaign and faction tower, Aurora's ability to freeze enemies is much more effective and provides more control for the team. Both of these characters don't deal damage in the late game, they only serve to control enemies. Finally, Esmeralda is a mandatory choice. This character is used in conjunction with Aposta and also adds a lot of control over the opposing team. The fifth position is again situational. We can choose Valor or Estes as good supports, and we can start improving Gord to test -1's location. Next, we have the Light faction. Our first choice is Cypra, a powerful support character for our team. Sometimes, summoning other characters can help us overcome difficult stages of the campaign. You can find a list of characters that can be summoned here. Additionally, at level 30 of our personal artifact, we gain a powerful ability that is useful not only in PvE content, but also in certain PvP teams. Our next choice is Sylvana, a character with great tanking abilities and high damage output. I have 2 copies Sylvanas in my team, using them in the faction tower. One is in UR version, which I use on my second team. While only one is currently in the Nexus, I plan to finish the second as well, as she is an extremely valuable and powerful character. Next up is Odette, who is paired with Lily in the campaign or with Natalia in the faction tower. Her relevance is gradually decreasing due to the release of stronger characters, but she can still be useful in PvE content. The 2 remaining slots are more situational. We could choose Kimmy and Guinevere for the faction tower or Natalia for a bundle with Odette. I love the faction of darkness for the large number of excellent magicians it has. But let's start with Argus, who is a tank in this faction. Thanks to his abilities, he can take a lot of damage and let our characters in the backlines do their job. He's a great middle-of-the-pack choice for the faction's tower and campaign. My favorite magician in the Dark faction is Fursa. She has massive damage, and when you put her on a team with Akashi, nobody survives. You can also use her as support to boost the damage of our main damage dealer, like Shatori. Selena is another great character that will fit into any team thanks to her ability to charm 2 opponents. I have 2 copies of her in my roster, so I can have one on each team for the faction towers. Lastly, Lilia is a great mage who pairs well with Odette or can be used on her own in the faction tower. And next, I'd like to talk about Vexena. Even though she seems to be losing ground, I still see her usefulness in the campaign, especially when combined with Char. She can be a valuable asset for our faction's tower. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with my assessment? Please let me know in the comments section and we can discuss it further in the next video.